We're delving deeper into teaching number 9 in our study of 2 Peter. Now, we've been considering the question, can a person lose their salvation? John Calvin and John Wesley had differing views. There are two acronyms that kind of summarize their positions. For Calvin, the acronym is TULIP, T-U-L-I-P, and for Wesley, TCURB, T-C-U-R-B. Okay, so for Calvin, TULIP, the T stands for total depravity. There is nothing a person can do to save themselves. Salvation requires God's intervention. The U stands for an unconditional election. God chooses one on whose behalf he will intervene and bestow salvation upon. The L stands for a limited atonement. Jesus dies for those God has chosen, making forgiveness and reconciliation a possibility. I stands for irresistible grace. If God has chosen you and Christ has died for you, then God's saving grace is bestowed upon you. Then P stands for the preservation of the saints. Chosen by God, Christ's atonement is for you, saving grace bestowed upon you. You are saved for all eternity, and nothing can change that. Now, in Wesley's thought that TCURB, the T, like Calvin, stands for total depravity. C stands for conditional election. Because God created humanity with free will, each person decides if they will accept God's invitation to righteousness. U stands for an unlimited atonement. Jesus dies to create the possibility for anyone to receive forgiveness and reconciliation, entering into a right relationship with God. The R stands for resistible grace. I mean, since it's God's will that everyone enter into a right relationship with him, there are those that have refused to do so. So they have resisted God's desire for them to receive God's saving grace. B stands for backsliding. A Christian can persist in rebellion to the point that they renounce the faith. A conscious choice was made to live the gospel. A conscious choice must be made to reject it. Now, as long as you live an exemplary life, it really doesn't matter which theologian you prefer. I prefer Wesley's explanation as how a person can lose their faith by repudiating it over Calvin's explanation that they must never have been saved in the first place. Meanwhile, I pray that Calvin's right, because then I think I'm in.